Emmerdale's John Sugdan finally slips up tonight as his latest scheme over Nate Robinson's murder backfires badly. The malicious medic is desperate to stay out of trouble after accidentally causing Nate's tragic demise, but his most recent plan may be a step too far. Viewers have already seen John sneakily frame the late Owen Michaels for Nate's death, even though he was a total stranger to the village favorite. In Wednesday's episode, John tries to tie up some loose ends by asking removal guy Ben to make a surprise return to the Dales. The villain previously arranged for Ben to transport Nate's belongings out of Emmerdale, making it look like he decided to move away. When Ben makes his surprise comeback, he does John's bidding by telling Tracy, Kane and the police that Owen was the man who paid him to move Nate's things. This appears to solidify the case against Owen, but Mackenzie Boyd soon has reason to believe otherwise. After witnessing Ben's bogus claims earlier on, Mack finds a photo album in John's van which sheds new light on the shifty stranger's visit. One picture shows that John and Ben were in the army together, accompanied by the message, "Brothers in Arms." Mack is shaken at the realization that John and Ben are working together to set the police on the wrong track over Nate's murder, which can only really mean one thing. With rumors swirling over Mack's future in the village, can he raise the alarm before John realizes he's been rumbled? Emmerdale's John Sugdan faces ruin as his scheme over Nate Robinson's murder begins to unravel. The village of Emmerdale has never been short on drama, betrayal, and devastating secrets, but tonight's episode promises to push tensions to breaking point. John Sugdan, the calculating medic whose calm exterior has hidden some of the soap's darkest recent twists, finally looks set to slip up. For weeks, fans have watched John desperately try to cover his tracks after Nate Robinson's shocking death. What began as a tragic accident has spiraled into a tangled web of deceit, manipulation, and betrayal, and tonight, the walls begin to close in. In this long-read spoiler breakdown, we'll revisit the roots of Nate's demise, explore John's increasingly dangerous schemes, examine the fallout for the wider Dingle family, and speculate about what comes next for John Sugdan as Mackenzie Boyd stumbles across the truth. Nate Robinson's tragic death, how it all began. Nate Robinson's death shook the village to its core. Known for his fiery temper, complicated love life, and deep connection to the Dingle clan, Nate's loss left a gaping wound for his family, especially for Tracy, who not only lost her partner but also the father of her young child. But what viewers know, and the villagers do not, is that Nate's passing wasn't the result of bad luck or fate. Instead, it stemmed from John Sugdan's reckless actions. As a medic, John was supposed to save lives, not take them. His arrogance and negligence caused a chain reaction that ended in tragedy, and from that moment on, John has been consumed with one priority: keeping his name clear. John's desperate cover-up. From the instant he realized Nate was dead, John swung into action, but not in the way one might expect. Rather than facing up to his mistakes, he crafted a chilling cover-up. One of his earliest moves was to frame Owen Michaels, a complete outsider to the village. This cold and calculated decision left Emmerdale viewers stunned. Why Owen? Why drag an innocent man's name through the mud? For John, the answer was simple: distance. By choosing someone with no strong ties to the villagers, John hoped nobody would question the evidence pointing to Owen. To make the lie more convincing, John even went so far as to enlist Ben, a removal worker he had connections with. Ben had already helped John shift Nate's belongings out of the village, creating the false impression that Nate had chosen to leave voluntarily. This manipulation of appearances gave John breathing room, but soap fans know lies in Emmerdale never stay buried for long. Ben's return, a dangerous ally. Tonight, the cracks in John's plan begin to show. Viewers will see Ben make a surprise return to the Dales at John's request. Once again, the medic pulls strings behind the scenes, ordering Ben to feed false information to Tracy, Kane, and even the police. Ben's story is that Owen Michaels paid him to move Nate's belongings, a convenient fabrication that ties neatly into John's narrative. On the surface, it looks watertight. Tracy, already heartbroken and desperate for answers, is inclined to believe it. Kane, too, is swayed, despite his natural instincts to distrust outsiders. And the police? They finally appear to have a culprit in their sights. For John, it seems like victory. His secret is safe, and his path to freedom remains open. But fate, and Mackenzie Boyd, have other ideas. Mackenzie Boyd's discovery. Mackenzie Boyd has been suspicious of John for some time. Sharp-eyed and unwilling to take things at face value, Mack's instincts kick into overdrive when he notices Ben's shaky testimony. Something about the removal man doesn't add up, and Mack is determined to find out what. His snooping pays off in a major way. In a shocking twist, Mack stumbles upon a photo album hidden in John's van, and what he finds inside could blow the whole cover up wide open. One particular photo is damning, a snapshot of John and Ben together during their army days, accompanied by the heartfelt inscription, "Brothers in Arms." This discovery changes everything. Mack realizes that Ben and John are not strangers at all but longtime allies. Their bond explains why Ben has been so willing to back up John's lies, and confirms Mack's worst fear. John orchestrated every step of this cover-up to protect himself. The net closes in. For John Sugdan, Mack's discovery represents the beginning of the end. In true soap style, his carefully laid plans are now at the mercy of one determined villager who knows the truth. But here lies the real tension. What will Mack do with this information? Will he go straight to Cain? Cain Dingle is not a man known for forgiveness. If Mack shares the truth, Cain will stop at nothing to avenge his son's death. Will he confront John directly? If so, Mack could be putting his own life in grave danger. John has already shown he will go to extreme lengths to cover his tracks. Or will he bide his time? Mack may choose to watch John more closely, gathering more evidence before going public. Whatever decision he makes, Mack's discovery sets the stage for a dramatic showdown. The Dingle fallout, Tracy, Cain, and family grief. No Emmerdale storyline hits harder than one that tears through the Dingle family. Nate's death was already devastating for Tracy, who must now grapple with the possibility that his demise wasn't just tragic but deliberately covered up. Tracy Robinson. Still in mourning, Tracy has clung to any explanation that gives her clarity. To discover she has been manipulated will break her heart all over again. Cain Dingle. Cain's grief has simmered under the surface, but when he learns the truth, that rage will surely explode. Soap fans know Cain is a man of action, and John Sugdan could very well end up facing vigilante justice. The wider Dingle clan. The family has weathered many storms, but this betrayal cuts deep. Nate wasn't just a son, father, and partner. He was a Dingle, and the family will rally together in their own unique, combustible way. Why John's downfall feels inevitable. Soap history teaches us one lesson again and again: no secret stays buried forever. Characters who manipulate, lie, and frame others may escape justice temporarily, but eventually, their sins come crashing down. For John Sugdan, the inevitability of his downfall has been baked into this storyline from the very beginning. The more elaborate his lies become, the more viewers anticipate his eventual exposure. The only question left is how, and by whom. Will Mack be the one to bring him down? Or will Tracy or Cain stumble upon the truth in a more explosive way? Could Ben's conscience eventually crack under the pressure of maintaining John's lies? The possibilities are endless, but one thing is certain: the dramatic payoff is coming. Fan theories and speculation. As always, fans have taken to social media to share their predictions. Some of the most popular theories include Mack as the hero. Many believe Mack will expose John, redeeming himself in the eyes of the Dingles and cementing his place in the family. Cain's revenge. Another theory suggests Cain will take justice into his own hands, confronting John in a violent showdown. Ben's betrayal. Some speculate that Ben, racked with guilt, will eventually confess the truth, turning on John in a climactic twist. John's last gamble. A darker theory posits that John, once cornered, could lash out violently, leading to another tragic twist in the saga. What's next for Emmerdale? With Mackenzie Boyd now holding the key to John's lies, the stage is set for a seismic shift in Emmerdale's landscape. The Dingles are poised for another explosive chapter, and John's house of cards may finally come crashing down. Whether his exposure leads to justice in the courts, a vengeful act by Cain, or another shocking twist entirely, one thing is clear: this storyline is far from over. As John Sugdan's desperate struggle to maintain control unravels, Emmerdale fans can expect heartbreak, fury, and high drama, everything that has made the soap an enduring favorite for decades.